Good evening, one and all. It is England versus Slovenia in a game that is as much about the restoration of reputation as it is about getting through to the next round. Because let's face it, barring absolute disaster, but England are there, aren't they? England are in the next round. It's just really to be determined whether England are going to finish on top of the group or not. So thank you for pledging to spend the next 20 minutes with myself. It's been a funny one with England, actually, because I'd sort of lost the will to live with it after the sort of bore draw against Denmark, really. It has to be said, it was not good. Not good at all. And so here we are again, looking for something different, looking for some snippets, looking for some sort of kernels of information about how Gareth Southgate is possibly going to progress in this tournament. I think, like everybody else, I was just sort of looking for something a little bit different, something to give me some encouragement that possibly England can go a little bit further. We've all watched the games, and there's been some absolutely scintillating attacking play on show, and it's not like everybody has had it their own way. So let's get that absolutely right. You know, there's some teams are flattered to deceive. Some teams have played well, like Germany, and then maybe not got every little thing has gone very well for them. I think Portugal obviously got lucky very early on with their result in a group, but a lot of these teams have shown in the way that they're putting combinations of play together and the way that they're attacking the opposition. I'll give you a wave. I'll give you a wave. There you go. I don't think I've ever done a wave before, by the way. So there you go. As I say, I'm happy to wave at anyone this evening. Anybody that's willing to spend a little bit of time with us in the build up to this is very, very welcome indeed. But some sort of passage of play, some sort of pattern, something that we can get behind, something that we can get some enthusiasm about England. Because I've got to be honest with you, it's drained the life out of me. Absolutely drained the life out of me. And I don't know, maybe I built it up a little bit too much in my mind. I think it's such a talented crop of players that England have got that you sort of just expect a little bit better, don't you? And I think Gareth Southgate, to be fair, has taken the brunt of a lot of the criticism. And I think for us as West Ham fans, then it all seems so familiar, doesn't it? So I think it's a hard watch. I'm not saying England is an easy watch for anyone else, but so many of the complaints that people had about Gareth Southgate and his tactics, particularly against Denmark, are the complaints and the moans and the groans that so many of us have had all throughout the season. So, so we're looking for a little bit better. I think what I'd like, well, we're going to do a bet. We're going to do what we normally do. We're going to have a little bet, have a little chat about what you think about the starting lineup. So let us know in the comments now what you think about the lineup. We'll go through it in just a minute. Of course, I say go through it in a minute. It's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And I think, he's done what we all expected him to do, because the press have been releasing it the last couple of days, and that was that Gareth Southgate was going to ditch his experiment with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and what he was going to do was he was going to put Gallagher in there, which I think is the least, is probably the safe option, and that's what Gareth Southgate does, right? He does the safe option. I think, if you were talking, I know Gallagher plays for Chelsea. I've got nothing against Gallagher, by the way. Nothing against Gallagher at all. I think he's a decent player. But if you were looking at some of the top teams in Europe, who would they be putting in their team? It probably wouldn't be him. And I know Wharton is very much the flavour of the month, and he's basic. I know he played well at Blackburn, but he's ended the season well in a scintillating Crystal Palace team, which is now in the process of being broken up, of course. But he's the guy. He's the guy that would get in because he's the technical player. I think to an extent Mainu is as well. But I think he's going what he knows. It's quite obvious in all the previous games that Harry Kane has been isolated. And I think what I would be looking for in terms of this England team is can someone get close to Harry Kane? I think the biggest problem is it doesn't need to win this game. Gareth Southgate does not need to win this game. And that's fine as well. So what are we looking for? We're looking for something that gives us a bit of momentum. We're looking for something that gives us a little bit of hope sort of going forward, that we can do something. England will be in the knockout stages. I think what it's up to now is, can we have something that we can grab hold of and think, hold on a second, there's someone in form here, there's someone bagging form. And I couldn't help but laugh because in the build up to the first game against Serbia, we kept on hearing Jude Bellingham's had no training sessions. He's had no training sessions, and he was the best player. And actually, he looks like he's infected now. He's infected with whatever's going round on that England training ground. And there were so many of the responses from the England players were so spiky. They must have known that they didn't play well. I mean, they really must have done. It was so blatantly obvious, really was. And they must have known that they were a bit scared. They must have known that they were sitting too deep, that there was no out ball, that Harry Kane was ice age. Yes, he scored. He did absolutely score. Look, I'll tell you something. Looking through the team now, obviously Pickford, Walker, Stones, Gahey, Trippier, Rice, Gallagher, Saka, Bellingham, Foden, Kane. I realise I've been very negative, right? I'm going to try and turn it round in a second. I'm not, but before I do, I just want to make the case. I'm actually sick of seeing Trippier there. It is a dereliction of duty, I think, to if Luke Shaw's not ready, then he really had to be looking to bring in a left-footed player in on that side, because it's just killing us. Anyway, from one full back to another, from one right back to another, Dave Walker there, of course, Carl Walker, I think he's actually been a big part of our attack in both games whenever it has functioned. And who'd have thought we'd be saying that with players like Foden and Bellingham and Saka and Kane is actually, I think he's become sort of quite vital to it. I wish he'd sort of liberate John Stones. I love John Stones, really good player. I wish he could be liberated a bit. But again, we are sort of shackled by the straitjacket of fear, really, aren't we, with England at the moment? But anyway, there you go. It is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for them to show what we've got. I guess a certain extent, the pressure's off in terms of the numerical pressure from the group. The pressure's off there, but there's still a whole lot of pressure on the team from, obviously, all the criticism from, I guess, from all the big pundits like Shearer and Alan Shearer's come under a lot of criticism, actually, for calling it as he saw it. And I will defend Alan Shearer's right to have a footballing opinion, but just so you know, Alan Shearer wouldn't defend your right to have an opinion. You're not allowed to have one. I'm not allowed to have one. But I would still defend Alan Shearer's right. I mean, he's forever telling us, be careful what you wish for, and telling us that we were wrong about the style of football. He's not just done it to David Moyes. He did it when Sam Allardyce was at West Ham. And when Alan Pardew was at Newcastle, he wanted Alan Pardew booted out, but he was telling us that we should be happy with what we got. The man's a walking contradiction, but I would still defend his right to an opinion. And I think he's copped too much flack. And I'm actually glad him and Lineker came out and said something. I think they pussyfoot around far too much. And it's nice to hear people talking sort of frankly. None of it was personal. It's all football related. No one's saying anything mean about anyone's grandma or anything like that. All right. No one's saying that Gareth Southgate's a bad man, but his tactics were shocking and the team played crap, absolute crap. So there you go. Anyway, something's got to give. We need a performance from Phil Foden tonight. For Phil Foden, as much as anyone else, and Gareth Southgate has to find a way to get in somebody close to Harry Kane. So I have a little. You've been so kind as to join me. A good evening, Lee there. Good evening to Jazz. He's watching in Cambodia. It's 2 a.m. He's crept out of Geff. He's found a bar. He's gone to a bar at 2 a.m. in Cambodia. Now that is commitment. And not only he's gone to a bar in Cambodia at 2 a.m. and he's watching the Hammers chat. Jazz, you know that is legendary stuff, mate. That is be careful. I don't want to say be careful, but yeah, look after yourself, mate. Look after yourself when you're out there. Garino says England will play crap. Bowen will score. That song will be sung. There you go. The Bowen's on fire. It's would England fans sing that? I wonder. Anyway, Major. Sorry if I can't click on every message here. Don't worry, Major. I mean, you're having He's a bit unwell, a bit under the weather, Major, actually. So I hope you're feeling a little bit better, my friend. David says Gareth Moyes ball coming up. He needs to not do it. It's one thing being, this is what I don't get. I'm sorry, I'm just mindful of time. We've got so little time in these build-up shows. I will do the bet, by the way. It's one thing being stung by the criticism, but if you if you were being criticised, wouldn't you want to prove people wrong? And I don't get it. This is his last go. I said this about David Moyes. Forget about football styles, right? And it's funny. David Moyes admitted recently that he's changed. He changed Thomas Souček's position. He made him he was a rampaging goal scoring midfielder. He turned him into defence. Basically, he's admitted he turned him into a defender. You know it, I know it. That's what happened. He did it to accommodate Declan Rice, so Declan Rice could expand his game. There was a point, and you'll know this because I'm guessing 99.9% of you, and I recognise so many of your names are all regular Hammers chatterers. You all know this, that it was to the detriment of the team at times. And I was looking sometimes at Moyes. And actually, that reluctance to bring someone in January, go back to January, we were still in with a shout of winning that back-to-back European trophies. I think even if not for us, do it for yourself, Moyes. It's probably your last season at West Ham. You're in the knockout stages of European competition. Go out on a massive high, mate. Win the Europa League after in the Conference League. So go out and spend some money in January. Go out and forget about the Moyes MOT. Go out and buy another midfielder. Go out and buy another attacker. Go out and buy another defender. Let's bloody go for it, right? And he didn't do it. And I often wonder why people don't do that. And I've got it with Southgate here. And I'm thinking, Southgate, this is your last hurrah, mate. So bear in mind, you sort of have to win it. Go for it. Win it. Grass and nettle. Don't be basically. It's not. Look, Gareth Southgate can win it. Will he win it? He was going to try not to lose. And I think that's the biggest problem with it anyway. Glad to hear you're feeling. Glad it's okay, mate. That naproxen, by the way, Major, who's not well, is strong stuff, isn't it? I like the t-shirt. What's your favourite Who song? Love Rain on Me, from Quadrophenia. Probably. This is actually this is from our store, our Hammers Chat store. It's actually a little play on the Who. Barbara O'Reilly's good. So many songs, really. Peter says, "Oh, Gonzo, hope you're well. You too, Peter, mate. Nice to see you, my friend. Virtually see you. Nice to see your name pop up in the chat, as always." And Vote Reform says, I'm not saying vote reform. I'm not saying vote anyone. I say vote nobody, by the way. But he'd been very kind enough to post the chat. He said, "I'd start Tony instead of Kane and Bowen instead of Saka." Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised he hasn't got someone close to. I'm surprised he hasn't got someone close to Kane, really. I mean, nothing to lose, right? Really, I just start Watkins and Kane, or Tony and Kane up front. Do something like that. I don't know. Anyway, right, should we do a little cheeky little bit? Before I do, make sure you got your match bingo cards. Okay, this is really important because you're going to have to follow Charlie through the watch along for your match bingo cards. The link is in the description below for match bingo. If you haven't downloaded it, go and do it now. All right, there's a big pot for this game, for this England game. If you don't know what match bingo is, then you've not been watching enough Hammers Chat, quite frankly. I'll tell you, it's basically a mixture of football and bingo. And certain things happen during a game, like a throw-in, a shot, a substitution. It's not just goals and difficult things, easy things, normal things that happen throughout the course of a game. Basically, you get 15 things, 3 lines of 5, and it basically ticks it off for you. And there's big cash prizes to be won. Loads of people that watch these videos have won money on match bingo. You literally, there's a load of free games on there as well. The England game is not free, by the way. That's £2 per play. All right, it's £2 for a card. Maximum of 5 cards. You can't spend tons and tons of money on it. Go and get it now. And by the way, go and check out some of the other things, but don't do that now because you've got a game. There are some free games there. But honestly, get in there. I'm telling you, somebody's going to win. I think the prize pot is over £1,000 today. So someone's going to win some money today. So, you might as well put yourself in for a shout at doing it. Please use the link below, though, so they know you come from Hammers Chat, 18 years and above. Let's go and do a little cheeky bet now. Can I have, and I know a few of us are feeling miserable about it. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to take that straight away, Lee. I'm going to take that because what I wanted was a scoreline. I'm going to compile a little bet now, and then what we're going to do is somebody in the chat is going to win that. So whilst I'm taking Lee's suggestion there, can I please have from you? I need 3 goal scorers, please. It's the only way of doing it. Otherwise, it's just we want. The odds are not going to be great for this stuff, so I just really want to get someone to win some money. So even though the bet might be unrealistic, it comes in. at least I can give someone a fair chunk of money. Right. Bellingham goal. Okay, I'm going to do that. So who said Bellingham? I think that was Amy. Let's do that one for you, Amy. Bellingham goal. Jude Bellingham to score any time. That's good. Right, I'm going to need another goal scorer. Oh, it's stingy. The odds are stingy here, I've got to say. Sufal to score. Nice on Major. What else have we got? I'm not going to do Bowen goal, Mr. Collingwood, just because he's not there. Do you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Gahey to score, actually, because I'm looking for something a little bit not too obvious, if you know what I mean. And I need one more England goal scorer. I'm not going to do Bowen, Peter. Foden. We'll do Foden. There's David. I'll tell you what I'll do, because I think that it's hard enough for someone to win this anyway. We're relying on a substitute to score a goal. I think not. So I'm just going to take, I'm going to go with, I'm not going to go with Foden, actually. Sorry, the odds are crap. I'm just going to keep, own goal, Stephen said. Own goal. Saka, let's have a look. I'm just trying to find one here. Stones. Oh, I mean, you know, it's tempting to go for that. I'll just have a little look. We've got Saka. Oh, we'll go with Saka. All right. I think we'll go with that. Right. Okay. Let's put that there. Right, it's as simple as that, really. It's for 400 quid. It's done. The bet is done. Right, so here are the bets, which are it's England's win 3-0. Jude Bellingham, Mark Gahey, and Bukayo Saka to score. If that comes in, then somebody is winning 400 quid. The phrase that pays is, "Don't shoot me. It's only a bit of fun." So don't shoot me. There's been a lot of shooting the messenger going on recently. It's been a bit tasty online last few days. Southgate gets the Saka. It's a joke. All right. Clearly he's not going to get the Saka today. It's a play on words. Type that into the chat there, and if you've if that most unrealistic of bets comes in, England win 3-0 and Bellingham scores and Gahey scores and the other one, and Saka scores, then somebody that's typed in Southgate gets the Saka, like Stephen's just done, you're gonna win 400 quid. There you go. I would love, I can't say how much, I'd love to give someone the money. I would one day, I mean, I do unrealistic bets, just one day if it came in, I would love nothing more than to give someone in a live chat. And sometimes it's like £1,000 or something like that. Just one time. We've been doing this a long time now, Hammers Chat. A couple of times, me and Gio have done a bet. Mostly Gio. Gio's a lot better at this stuff than me. And it comes in and he's giving away 100 quid or 150 quid or something like that. I go a little bit silly because I do want to. I'd love to give someone a couple of grand. How good would that be? Brilliant. So we'd be doing a lot more of that during the season once West Ham start kicking a football again, rather than just talking about actual transfer rumours and stuff like that. So the game is upon us, boys and girls. The game is upon us. Obviously, England are leading the group, to state the obvious that we said at the start of the video, just in case you joined us a little bit later on. It worries me that because Southgate doesn't need to win, that we got even more caution. He needs to show something. Do you know what? He needs to give the country a bit of belief. I know it's been really hot, but the old England fans have been looking particularly droopy, haven't they, recently? Like when the car's like wilting in the sunshine. He needs to. It's his job. He's got to inject a little bit of something and give the country something to get behind. And I don't want to hear this stuff about Calvin Phillips. You don't want to hear this stuff about Calvin Phillips. It was really badly advised. I can only assume he said it off the cuff and he hadn't told his media advisor he was going to say it, because any media advisor worth their salt would have said, "Don't say that, Gareth, don't say that, don't do the Calvin Phillips thing." He's got some of the best midfielders in the world. He has got some of the best midfielders in the world. And he's because he hasn't got a player that's not really played football for 18 months. I'm talking about Calvin Phillips here. He's chucked a right back in there, and he's still experimenting. He deserves criticism for that. He really does, and he needs. It's really you could. I've got to go in a second. I'm going to hand over to Charlie in a second. But if you think of the best football managers in the world, whoever yours might be, maybe you think it's Guardiola. I think that's a cross between a plant, like a flower, and Pep Guardiola. Anyway, so yeah. So I'll Pep Guardiola. Maybe you think it's Ancelotti. Maybe you think it's somebody else, right? Whoever that manager is that you've got in your mind now, think of them. There's no way they're picking the midfields that Southgate does. And he must know that. So he's either a complete nincompoop or he thinks he knows better than everyone else. I think we know which one it is, really. It's like Troy says that we need a passer in midfield. We really do. Flinthouse would have done a better job than Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. And I'm not saying I don't want Flinthouse to do it. He's got players, Wharton played in that friendly, whichever one it was, week or two ago. And he was buzzing about it. I'll tell you what Southgate said. I remember what he said. He said, players recognise other good players. He said, and all the England players have been telling me, so this is Southgate talking, all the other players have been telling me how good Wharton was. Mate, how much more do you want? He took to it like a duck to water, right? And your players, your footballers are telling you, this guy's really good, Gaffer, really good. And what you going to do? Honestly, it's absolutely ridiculous. Nick, thank you very much indeed, my friend. I hope you are keeping well. We will speak again very, very soon. Drop us a text tomorrow. Let me know if there has been, and I'm assuming there's been no change because you've not messaged, but you keep well, mate. Hopefully you enjoy the game, and we will speak very soon. No doubt about it at all. Charlister, Bevo, around.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm recovering from my illness, so I'm still coughing a bit every so often. But apart from that, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bit hot like everyone else. It's a bit,
It's too hot.
It is too hot. What's your ideal temperature?
Not this. Anything below this. No, I'm a cold person. I'm a cold person in general.
But what's your tipping point?
About February.
He's not got a temperature. He's got a month. He measures it in a month.
I don't know. It's just like anything in 20s is way too much for me. I just get too hot. You know what I'm like? I've usually got a long beard. I've got long hair at the moment. I've got tied up because it's so hot. And I'm a big guy. I don't like the heat. It's just not something I deal with particularly well. What about you?
About 23, I think. 22, 23. Okay. Yeah. With
it's different on holiday. On holiday, it's a completely different story. But when you're in your house.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think something like that. Yeah. It's with a little bit of sun, a bit of sun, the good clouds, the fluffy ones that are like candy floss, right? Yes. So those and then the sun breaking, and then the sun in between, and the big candy floss cloud comes over, blocks out the sun for it. 22 degrees, little bit of a breeze, lovely. Yeah. But it ain't got to go much. The moment it gets to 25, it's a bit scorchio for me. And then what is it today? 27 or 28? Forget it. They cancelled my daughter's sports day for tomorrow because it's gonna be too
Doesn't
hot.
Surprise me.
So you got your water there. Anyway, mate, listen, I'm going to go because it's going to take me 3 minutes to turn the telly on and do me stuff. I was going to tell you what I was going to do then.
Enjoy your stuff. Enjoy it. Whatever it is, I ask no questions. I get no answers. Enjoy whatever it is.
No lies. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
There we go. Gonzo, ladies and gentlemen, off to do his stuff. Whatever that may be. I hope you're well, everyone. It's England, of course, versus Slovenia in Euro 2024, the last group stage game. As Gonzo was saying, barring something horrendous happening, we're already through. So it's not really one of those situations where we're thinking about it in those terms. It's more just a situation of seeing, can England kick on? Can England fully click? Because there is obviously something missing in this team. And when it clicks, it could be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Whether or not that happens is a much different story and something we're going to find out today. The teams are rolling across the bottom of your screen currently. I would try and read out the Slovenian ones, but no is the answer to that question. I'm not very good at it. But there's the two obvious big name players. Goalkeeper Jan Oblak, who has been brilliant for years now. Like, so probably one of the more underrated keepers. There was a brief moment where everyone sort of went, yeah, he's actually one of the best in the world. But I think before then and after then, he's just too good. And then, of course, up front, Benjamin Sesko, someone who is being linked to a lot of clubs, just signed a new contract. He's incredibly good. They're the two names that you're going to be having to look out for from Slovenia in terms of just world football. And in England, the big change, Conor Gallagher coming in for Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's expected. It's something I called in the first watch along. I said that I felt like this lineup plus Gallagher would have been exactly what his dream lineup would be for the tournament. Maybe obviously you want to get Luke Shaw in there instead of Trippier, but apart from that, I think this would be his ideal lineup for the tournament. I'm not shocked that it's happened now. The Trent experiment just has not worked. As much as I can see the idea behind it, it just hasn't really worked. And I don't think we can sit around waiting for it to work. Whereas with Phil Foden, I think we can give it time to try and wait to see if it works. With Trent, I don't think that can be the case, because if you come up against a big team, he's instantly coming out regardless. So there's no point sitting around waiting to see if it happens. The positives just aren't outweighing the negatives in any way, shape, or form. So those are the teams. Those are the lineups. Nothing shocking. We'll see again if that front line clicks, if Foden coming in off the left clicks. Because there's been moments where Foden's really good. There's been moments like the first game, for example, where Bellingham was brilliant. Like, if these things can come together, and that's not impossible, then all of a sudden we're laughing. Unfortunately, I just don't feel like we're going to be laughing. But I hope you're all well. Amy, good to see you. Saka, I assume that's the words, the phrase that pays. Speaking of phrase that pays, we of course are sponsored by Match Bingo. They're a beautiful app that you can get on your phone, which combines betting and bingo. It's the only betting thing I really truly understand, because what they do is they give you cards that you pay £2 for. It is betting. £2 is on the line, so make sure you're 18 plus. The link is in the description below. And then you get lots of different events that you can do. Now, if I've set all this up properly, which I feel like I might have, but who knows? Wait, where's the thing? Hang on. Technology's about to happen. Oh, he's done it. There you go. So these are the cards. So this is Gio's cards for the evening. You can see his 5 cards and you can see the events in there. So you've, for example, throw-ins, you've got goals in the 3rd or 4th minutes, 3 substitutes, 2 substitutes. You can see all of Gonzo's cards here. And then I forgot what my username on there was North Idaho Massive. You can see all my cards here. So we'll be checking in on how those are going. It is £2 per card. The link is in the description below. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring us. They've been a beautiful sponsor. And you lot have been winning a lot of money off it. I haven't, frustratingly, but maybe today will be the day. Kes, you need to win. Maybe today will be the day. There's also free cards. I think you can get 5 free cards for the election debate tomorrow, which I've got. I am determined to get win at some point. I don't think it'll happen, but you know, everyone else keeps winning, so that's good. That's good for everyone, I guess. Anyway. It is about to kick off. I'm watching it, of course, on ITV in the UK. There are many other places you can watch it. But England versus Slovenia. Euro 2024 is about to kick off, ladies and gentlemen. England are the ones to do it, wearing the all-white, Slovenia in the blue. There we go. Come on, not come on, you ones. Come on, England. Deploy the boys. It's time to run 2 things. I'm going to be coughing a lot during this. So there's going to be a lot of muting and unmuting and stuff like that for me, unfortunately. Coming off the back of COVID, so that's fun. That's fun. I know I hate it as well. I'll take it because it's free. Like, I'll take what being not having to pay for actually having to watch it. So I'll 100% take it, but the adverts are incredibly annoying. I don't disagree with you. You would look so cool with a buzz cut. I wouldn't, Danny. I wouldn't. My head is just a weird shape. My head's a weird shape. I can't be dealing with that. So I've just got it tied up. You can see the. Okay, it'll probably come back down at some point today, but yeah, no, buzz cut. I can't go too short because I've got a weird shaped head. England passing around very forcefully at the back. Jordan Pickford passing with some venom. Yeah, my dad used to, when I was a baby, he used to be able to rest a pint on my head, which I blame for the weird shaped head. I reckon it deformed it somehow. I don't know if that's true. Don't know if that's even technically possible. That's what I'm saying happened. That's what I'm saying happened. Slovenia pushing England at the back here. Gay, nice little turn there. Fair play to him. Little step over, switch turn. Big ball looking for Harry Kane. Again, Harry Kane, another person who in moments, in glimmers, looked good. Oh, that's good pressing there from Foden. Almost nips in from the pass from Oblak. Slovenia end up just booting it clear. Bit of head tennis ensues. Declan Rice collects it. Bit of pressure there. Nicely done by Trippier to play it into Rice, who does well under pressure. Trippier, nice ball down the line to Phil Foden. Going to be difficult to get any sort of cross in there, and I think it's going to be a goal kick. He tried to spin, didn't quite work out. Close, but no cigar. Close, but no cigar. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. Yeah, he's not defeating the allegations. He's not putting them to bed by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not surprised. Like I say, I felt like this was going to be what it would be like, lineup wise. Slovenia managed to burst forward and win a corner. I felt like this is what the lineup was going to be like, ultimately. Or is it a goal kick? Somehow it's a goal kick. I thought it was a corner. But he's certainly not beating the allegations. I don't think he's wrong, by the way. I think I understand continuing to persist with Foden on the left. Which, although unpopular, I think is potentially the right thing to do. I think getting Bellingham in the 10 is so important. To me, at least personally, I think that's the way I would try and do it. And so Foden, as someone who has had success on the left, I understand that part of it. And then getting Trent out was imperative. We literally spoke about it at the beginning of the first game, let alone since then. But he's not beating the allegations, let's put it that way. England take it quickly, throw in on the right-hand side. I mean, Trippier's the big point. I think with Trent, you can make the argument that if it's not going to work now, there's no point waiting around. One, because when you come up against a big team, you would take him out of that position regardless. And two, well, that's terrible from Bellingham. Just lackadaisical there. Slovenia win a free kick. Poor from Bellingham. But so you might as well just take him out. But when it comes to Phil Foden, you can make the argument, well, when Shaw comes back and you have a little bit more down that left-hand side, maybe he can drift in a little bit further and it sort of adds a little bit of a different dynamic. So we're kind of waiting and seeing with that. Whether or not we should do that is a different story, but we can kind of make that argument. Whereas with Trent, there was no argument. It just sort of had to happen. Slovenia looking to turn. Nice play down the left-hand side. Decent ball in, over the top of everyone, headed back towards Shesko, gets his head onto it, and it's easily into the hands of Jordan Pickford. Collects that one. Can't quite get the power, but it's there. Howdy from Austin, Texas. Good to see you, Simon. How are you? Thank you for the good to see you back. Appreciate it. Getting there. Still not happy here, but apart from that, getting there. Good to see you. How is Iggy? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. It's only a weird shape because it struggles to contain your mighty brain. Thank you, M. Thank you. No, I've always kind of Collingwood, of course, the Atlas of Hamalytics. Always very kind of you, sir. Always very kind of you. That's the argument that I would make. Big up here, innit? Lots of brain power going on. Thinking about stuff. Things. Back from holiday, got COVID. Yeah, I know. I don't know for certain if that's what we had. Me and my girlfriend. I'm not sure. We know we don't have any tests, so we didn't test it for it. But all of the things were there. All of the signs were there, and it was very, very rough for both of us. At its peak. There was 2 days where we were both just completely destroyed. Mine happened to coincide with the last game, and hers were like a couple of days behind me. So yeah, we got back from holiday and then instantly got ill. So. Fun. Dave, APGW, good to see you, sir. How are you? Hope you're well. I mainly hoped he would make at least one change on the left side as it's been non-existent. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like I said, I don't think you can. I think you can make an excuse for it. Not a bad ball over the top looking for Bellingham. England win a throw in down that left-hand side in the corner quadrant. You can make an argument for keeping it the same. I don't think it's correct, but you could, and I understand it. But yeah, I guess until Luke Shaw comes back, then you wouldn't really get the best out of Foden on that side anyway. You wouldn't really be seeing what that final form would be. So in the meantime, as a just persisting for the sake of getting Foden in the team, you maybe shift Gordon out there, I guess, would be the answer. I'm not as big a fan of Anthony Gordon as everyone else is. I think he's good. I just not think he's a bad player. I just don't think he's unreal. But in that instance, I guess that would be the answer. And I wouldn't be afraid to not start Foden personally, because I think Bellingham in the 10 is better than Foden in the 10. It's difficult. It's difficult when you have world beaters like Foden and Bellingham and people like that. Again, not to draw the parallels of Lampard and Gerrard, but draw the parallels of Lampard and Gerrard. Gay passes out wide to Foden on the left-hand side. He had Kieran Trippier on the overlap, instead decides to go inwards. The horseshoe begins. Declan Rice out to Stones, wide to Bukayo Saka. Again, I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of this. Let me turn this on slowly. Kane. It's a nice big diag, forces the header backwards. It was forcing them into awkward positions, Slovenia. Saka charging in. It's going to be a throw into them right by their corner flag. Good pressure from Bukayo Saka. The bells are available. AKA if it gets called for, it gets called for. The bells are available, as far as I remember. I don't think I've eaten any, so they must still be there. I saw a meme of Southgate ripping a mask off of Moyes' face. Yeah. Again, the allegations are not being beaten in any way, shape, or form. Let's be honest about it. Let's be real about it. Playing the ball around, Declan Rice out wide to Kieran Trippier on the left-hand side. Finds Phil Foden. England slowly and surely just spraying the ball around. You got the sort of 4-4-2 of Slovenia just ahead of them. Weird positioning there from them. Allows Declan Rice to just charge through. An angle. Harry Kane with a nice turn. There was a moment there where I felt like the run should have happened from Foden. It just doesn't come in. It's a nice idea, though. Nice idea, and England go to recycle possession back through the defenders. It was a nice idea. There was a brief little moment there where Harry Kane tries to sort of play it in, and it just wasn't that darting run from Foden from the central area, which there could have been. Does Palmer play at all today? He'll come on as a sub. I'm pretty confident of that. Actually, am I pretty confident of that? I'm not pretty confident. I'm like 60% confident of that. So probably in 2 minutes, yeah. I'll get back to it when England aren't on the ball. Which Slovenia are counter-attacking pretty quickly. So, that's a nice little flick around. And again, the control from Bellingham just wasn't quite there. It was close, though. Incredibly close. It was a nice idea. The little 1-2 pass and a good work from Bellingham to charge back, win the ball back alongside Harry Kane. Oh, that's a big ball over the top for Phil Foden, who's through. He decides to play it across to Saka. Offside was raised against Saka anyway, but it was over the top and behind of Saka. It was a great run for Foden. He just slips in behind. He might be offside as well. Ball gets played over the top. In fact, that would be the offside as opposed to Saka. Close. Don't compare Southgate and Moyes. Southgate is drastically worse considering the amount of talent he can choose from and what he ends up doing with said talent. I don't think it's an unfair argument. For me. Foden is a natural 10. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think Foden is a natural 10. I think Foden's best position is in the 10. For me, he's just unfortunate that Jude Bellingham exists. Because in my opinion, Jude Bellingham's best position is a 10, and I think Jude Bellingham's a better player than Phil Foden. Therefore, I would put Phil Foden in a 10 ahead of... I would put Bellingham in the 10 ahead of Foden. But I can understand people would disagree with me and put Bellingham in a deeper role. I 100% get all that, to be fair. It's not bad from Slovenia. Ooh, Declan Rice. Not bad from Slovenia. They fired a ball across from wide on the right hand side, and it goes just underneath, rolls underneath Rice's foot. He does get a touch, and Slovenia are forced backwards, but not unheard of. Harry, good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. I can't, unfortunately, Servant. I wish I could, but the copyright police would come and get me. But it is available in places. If there is a place you want to go and look at it, there is one, scroll down in the link in the description below. There's a bit there called Join Our Discord. Lovely Hammers chat, West Ham community, but of course fans of all clubs are welcome. And more importantly, on the left hand side, there's a bit called Stream Links in which you'll find what you're looking for. I'm taking this off because it's annoying me right now. I want to put my head back and it keeps hitting it, so I'm taking it off for now. But it will probably go back on given how warm it is. There we go. There we go. But yeah, the copyright police would come and kill me if we did that, unfortunately. I'm sorry. It's, of course, free on ITVX online if you're in the UK. I don't know if it's been shown on any other broadcasters, I can't remember. But on ITVX, it is completely free. Stones plays it across the Trippier, wide left. Bellingham, who's sort of taken up quite a lot of role on this left hand. He's taken up the space on the left hand side quite a lot so far today. It's interesting to see those two, sort of him and Foden, sort of floating a little bit, switching around, being allowed to sort of move in between each other, because I do keep seeing Bellingham sort of taking up a little bit of space after Foden makes his way inwards. Just taking up a little bit of space on that left hand side. Just again, continuing to try and pull Slovenia a little bit around. That'll do. That'll do. Hair's looking fresh today. Thank you. TCS. I'll just call you Servant. Thank you, Servant. I appreciate it. Joel, best of luck at England from a Scottish Hammer. Magnanimous of you. Thank you very much, Joel. Appreciate it. I was devastated at your result. I can't lie to you. I was devastated at your result. I really genuinely thought you'd make it through. I remember when the groups got drawn, me and Gio had a long conversation about it on the phone, and I was like, I feel like Scotland are going to make it through. I was a lot more positive than he was about it, but it's a shame. Again, England just doing the same thing, big boot over the top and time. Here's the Doctor Who opinion, Collingwood. Here's the Doctor Who opinion. I enjoyed the finale. I thought it was a bit rushed. I would have liked. I think it's comparable in. I think you could I think the structure of it you could compare to the finale. I can't remember what it's called. Sound of the Drums, whatever, the one Martha's finale, series 3 of the return. Where you have the first episode where everything goes to pot, and then the second episode of saving the world as it all goes to pot, sort of thing. And I think that one did a better job spacing out in that sort of sense. I think this one was a bit too. That scene in the tent, for example, I think is sick, but I wanted more of that sort of like doom and gloom, which I think Rusty Davis is really, really strong at. But I liked it overall. I did like it. I thought the stuff with the mum, I thought could have been done a little bit better, probably. Why is she wearing the weird hood thing? Why is she pointing at signs? Why did those things happen? I don't know. The bit after it, Mum, great. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. I enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the Christmas one. I'm really looking forward to it in general. It's nice for me to be like back super invested in Doctor Who again, for the first time since series 5. Back being super invested again is nice, and I feel like it's living up to so far. But I am missing. Overall, I'm missing the running around away from monsters lark and bits in the TARDIS. That's what I'm wanting more of, you know? I want to see scenes in the TARDIS happening. I want to see monsters happening and running about. I want to see that kind of bits and pieces. Missing that a little bit. Also, bring Rogue back, well, guy. Slovenia, throw in on the left-hand side, inside the corner quadrant. Interesting. He looked like he was going for a long one. Decides to throw it short. Creates this opportunity for the cross. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then the Slovenian number 9, I can't remember his name, just went for it. Absolutely goes flying in, tries to get his head onto the end of it. It was a decent cross in, to be honest with you. And he gets the best of Trippier, and he just a little bit too high for him. Can't quite get there. And drops out. It's going to be a throw into England on the other side. Yeah, it's prime Moyes ball. I know, like, obviously there's a lot of allegations at Southgate, but if you were to show these two teams which one's the Moyes ball one, it is definitely Slovenia. It is definitely Slovenia, except with a 4-4-2 as opposed to a 4-2-3-1. That's not a bad ball at all. Saka does manage to get in. Can he pull it across? That's a bit over the top of everyone. It was close. It was close. The through ball was really nice, and Saka gets on the end of it at the far post. Oh, Slovenia are breaking here. Again, it's that number 9. He's 1v1 up against Gay, who just sort of gets into a strong position to stop him from flying forward. Oh, that's a nice back heel, though. All of a sudden, Slovenia trying to work their way forward again, looking for the cross. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, Phil. And there's a Trippier yellow card. Trippier yellow card, and I think going to be a throw-in to Slovenia. Foul down the line by Kieran Trippier during the counter. It's probably the correct decision, Servant, in my opinion. He's not done anything. I understand why you want to put him there and what the idea would be, but we haven't really seen the benefits of that in any way, shape, or form. And in my opinion, when you go up against a big team, you would take him out of the side anyway. So you might as well just take him out of the side now to begin with. There's no point in pushing or shoving him and trying to make that happen. You might as well just take him out and put the obvious person, which is Conor Gallagher. I think from Southgate's perspective, it was always going to be Conor Gallagher. Go into that role anyway and see how it works from there. Has it worked so far? It's certainly not been bad. But yeah, it seemed obvious to me. It seems obvious to me. It's going to be a free kick to Slovenia, wide on the right-hand side. Whipped in, that's not bad. Ooh, that's not a bad free kick. Whipped in with some dip and some swaz. And Janza, the number 13, it's a good ball in. But no one can get on the end of it. There's no one there, but it was decent. It was decent. Is that what that one is? Is it a hug? I've never known what it was. I've seen it loads of times. Is it a hug? Well, you look like you're sort of hugging, I guess. Ish. Big bounce there from Conor Gallagher as Slovenia come forward with the ball. It's not a bad ball into, again, number 9, who takes his shot from range. And Pickford scrambles for it. Maybe doesn't need to, but he does. From Spra. This is how I'm going to go with it. Jazz hands. I thought I'd go with it. Jazz hands. I can back that. Doesn't have a cheeky enough that looks hugged. Do you know what I mean? Jazz hands would maybe need a bit of like that kind of facial. Hey, you know. I feel very strongly about jazz hands apparently. How can you go 16 minutes now, 19 minutes against a ranked 50 plus team and not even have a shot? They're defending relatively well, Slovenia. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're not doing anything spectacular, but they're not doing anything. They're doing it well. Trippier finds Foden again, trying to move through the lines quickly. You've got at least 8 Slovenian players in the box. Trippier, oh, that's a nice ball in. That's a brilliant pass in. Foden across, 1-0 England. Oh, the flag's up. Saka, the flag's up. It was beautiful play. Quickly again. That's what you want from Phil Foden, wide on the left-hand side. Quick interchange, good movement. He lays it short to Trippier, who's alongside him, who plays it in towards Foden is offside. He lays it into Declan Rice, who's just on the edge of the area, sees the run from Foden, opens up his body, slots it in perfectly in there, and then as Foden squares it to Bukayo Saka, who slots it home. It's offside. Foden is offside. But that's what you want. That quick interchange of play on that wide, on that left-hand side. When you're sitting, when Slovenia is sitting deep, and like I say, they're defending relatively well, but when they're sat deep in those areas, that's how you beat it. I always say it when West Ham are doing it. To beat us, to break us down, that's what you want. Quick interchanges of passing with movement. That's all you need. And with Foden there, he showed exactly what he's capable of doing from that left-hand side. He just doesn't do it frequently enough. So in that instance, it looked good. It was just that little bit of an awkward run from him, which finds him offside. Although it was close. It was very, very close. That's good. That's good. Free kick on the halfway line for Slovenia. I think best player for England is Bellingham. Yeah, I agree with you, Seven. I agree with you. Why bring Watkins and Eze? It's like watching Mubama and Cornet on the bench. I think Watkins brings you something different. Like Tony, you bring because he's the closest thing to Kane that we have, right? So you bring Tony for that reason specifically, because if you want to go like for like sub, you get Tony involved. Whereas Watkins is the guy who can give you something, just that different element up front with the pace, the running in behind, that stuff that Harry Kane doesn't really do as much, or Tony doesn't really do as much. Now, why not using them? Different story, different question entirely. Will Leicester be relegated again under Cuba? I do feel sorry for them. I do feel sorry for them. I can't lie to you. I do feel sorry for Leicester, given what happens with the manager and everything. I think was that a yellow card for Slovenia player? It is a yellow card for Slovenia player. I think that I mean, that's definitely a free kick and definitely a yellow card, if we're being honest about it. I think realistically it's a situation where I think he's hard done by a little bit, Steve Cooper. I do think he's better than what some people say. Not miles better, but at least better. But it's going to be a tough job for them. They've got some players, but it's going to be tough. It'll be interesting to see who ends up in the relegation talk, in the relegation battle halfway through the season, given the fact it probably won't be like last year where all three relegated sides are gonna really crumble. You don't have Sheffield United and Luton in this season. So it'll be interested to see who gets dragged into that relegation battle. Walker wins a throw-in on the halfway line. Just looking at the offside again. I'm loving these weird PS2 graphics to show us. It was so nicely worked. Just that little bit of curve, that run, just that tiny bit more, and that could have been a goal. They're really holy. I don't get the whole thing. Walker, Jesus Christ, missing the ball. Saka collects it. I don't get the whole thing. Someone did try to explain it to me, but I don't understand it. Is it just a comfort thing? Bellingham, poor pass again. Gay under pressure, ends up playing it back to Pickford. Another wonky pass there from Bellingham. Not something I'm buzzing about. Another wonky pass. Trippier lays it in towards Phil Foden. Nice little shimmy, but again, the pass was poor. I feel like if a couple of these passes end up starting playing off, they're going to be in big trouble. Some dangerous play there from Slovenia, and Declan Rice with a nice interception. But again, his pass is wonky. Passing just not really on it from England tonight so far. Just again, another just awkward pass. Just all slightly off, all slightly wide. None of them really happening. Nice idea to play it forward there from Slovenia, looking for Zesko and then just booted clear. Yeah, it's very sloppy, Big Red. It's very sloppy. Was there an ad on the stream? I don't actually know. Geo sets them up, so I don't actually know how it works, or how often they are, or when they play, or anything. I have no control over it. Geo sets it up, so I've got no idea. It's very slow. He's just sloppy. It supposedly reduces pressure on the calves and decreases likelihood of cramps. Oh. Interesting. Just make the socks looser, no? Or is that like a aerodynamics problem? I don't know how any of these things work, but surely you could just make them looser. Or maybe it's a branding thing. I don't actually know. Let's have a look. We're 25 minutes in. Let's have a look at the match bingo. Put it up. I was pulling it up on my phone. I can pull it up on the thing. That's what I can do. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Right, let me hang on. Where's the button? Where's the button? I need to sort this out. This is ridiculous. There we go. Right, so what's Geo got? So Hammer's chat, this is Geo. So he's got a couple. He's one over here, actually. Let me turn me off for a second. He's got one here. Look at that. He's one off a right-footed goal for England, away from winning some money there. That's decent for him. He's got another here, which is pretty decent. Gonzo again, close here. Gonzo's got some close ones. Ooh, Gonzo's close here. He's close here. He's doing close. Where am I at? This one. There's a couple. None as close as Gio or Gonzo though. Gio and Gonzo both are away, one away. I've not got any of those yet. Getting there. Those socks were not blessed by the point. Did the socks crap in the woods? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Stones out wide to Trippier again. And it's interesting because we don't look super inventive on the ball. Again, that's where, I was saying how Slovenia are playing a lot more Moyes ball than England are, but that's where it comes into play, where the allegations are so similar. It's that idea of when you do come up against the team who Moyes boil against you, who sit deep, defend, and then hit you on the counter-attack, can you break the teams down? And so far, there was an opportunity there for a ball over the top to Bellingham, which we just don't take. We don't seem quite capable enough of doing that yet. Saka, that's a nice ball in towards Harry Kane. And that's a terrible back heel from Harry Kane. Well, Bellingham battles for it and wins the ball just outside the area. Or maybe a free kick. Referee says no. Slide in from Declan Rice and then again from Bellingham, wins the ball back. Nicely done. Foden, that was nipped in towards him. Foden out wide again on the left-hand side, picks it up. He's in the corner quadrant, plays it back to Trippier. Again, the momentum just slowing down, the intensity just slowing down. Trippier trying to play it in, and Foden is screaming to get the ball in towards Declan Rice. And not playing it in there, and England win a throw-in instead. Phil Foden screaming at Trippier that the ball up to Rice was open. He just seemed insistent on playing down the wing. It's again a nice idea for a reverse ball towards Bellingham. Doesn't work out. Slovenia can come away with it. That's not bad, and that's a great piece of control. He's got Sesko ahead of him, charging down the left-hand side. He does try to find Benjamin Sesko, but Jordan Pickford comes out and collects it. Good defending. Sick of watching Moyes ball. Well, Danny, listen, soon we'll be in pre-season mode, and we won't have to see anything Moyes ball. If anything, we're going to get bored of having the ball. We'll get bored of having possession, but it's soon. It's soon. When is the first pre-season game? Isn't it? It's next month, isn't it? Middle of next month is what I think it is. Let me have a look. Football, men's football. Dagenham and Redbridge on the 20th. Rice plays it in. Kane looks to try and hit it. Big deflection off a Slovenia player, drops out. Yeah, 20th. So just over 20 days away. Whipped in. Oh, that's not a bad cross over the top. And I tell you what, we win a corner from it. Not a bad ball across, actually, to be fair. Weak-footed cross from Trippier. Whipped into a really dangerous position. No, it was from Foden. It wasn't from Trippier, but that is a great ball. Just over the top of Harry Kane, and then at the backside, can't quite find it. Bellingham battling well for the opportunity previously before that. Did the dog just barking there? Corner to England from the right-hand side. Trippier to take. It's going to be an outswinger. Conor Gallagher hovering around Jan Oblak. You've got a train of Kane, Stones, Bellingham, Saka. No, sorry, Gay. Rice is just on the outside. Whipped in. It's not bad ball towards Harry Kane, who Bellingham was just there. I don't know if either of them would have been able to get really the power required on that ball to get a sort of significant header towards goal. Declan Rice battling for it. That's going to be a free kick. Oh, no. Not laid off. Harry Kane shoots straight into the hands of Jan Oblak. Too easy. Too easy there in the end of it. Ending up taking that shot. It opens up a little bit for him. There was a moment where I felt like he could unleash the beast, and he doesn't at all. Straight down the straight down the lane of Jan Oblak. And Slovenia can slowly pass the ball around here. Frustrating. West Ham servant. West Ham. Depressingly. West Ham. Oh, Scotland decides. Look, Scotland. I think Scotland look better than us in moments than we have done so far in this game. We've not been bad. No, I rescind that. I think we've been relatively bad. Sesko wins the header and now Slovenia can come forward again. Shot from range takes a big deflection, but thankfully John Pickford's going to collect it before it goes out for a corner. Yeah, maybe we have been bad. I think if you were grading it out of 10, I would probably say we're at a... If we were grading... That number is just not going, is it? If we were grading it out of 10, I would probably say we were at... There we go. Flipping it. We're probably at 4.5 for me. If 5 is average, if 5 is just bang average, that's probably where we're at. Thank you. So I think it's now perfectly in time. Because we've not really done... I mean, we've had an opportunity, I guess, but outside of that, we've not really done much else. And the passing's just been that little bit too sloppy for me to say we've been okay, you know? Kane lays it short, Gay on the ball. I'm not against Harry Kane dropping deep. I've never really been against Harry Kane dropping deep, if we're being honest about it. I think he's alright at doing it. And I don't mind it in these situations where we need to build up a little bit. I don't mind him doing it if we can see Foden or Bellingham especially, I think is really good at it, you know, running in behind and figuring it out. But when they're sitting deep like this, just dropping deep, trying to get involved in play and dragging them around a little bit, not against it. Declan Rice is a good position for him to maybe take a shot. He looked to shape for a second and then maybe dribbles his way into trouble. We still keep the ball out. It's a nice run around behind for Phil Foden. Pulls it back across. Over the top of everyone, can't quite find it. And then Saka lays it down. Free kick. Bring on Peters Hurst. Yeah, exactly. Bring on Peters Hurst more. It's the only way we're going to win. I'm looking again at the match bingo. There's 2 now. If they make 5 substitutes, I'll complete a line, but that's unlikely to happen until late, and 1 line would probably already be claimed by that, right? You'd imagine. But a right-footed goal awarded for Slovenia isn't unheard of, and if we did that, I will have a line completed. I'm looking at the mobile version currently. That would be possible. It's close enough. We'll see how that one plays out. It's going to be a free kick to England, about 25, maybe 30 yards away from goal. Slightly across to the slightly across to the right-hand side from centre. You're talking maybe, I don't know. It says 29 metres to goal. Phil Foden standing over it. He hits it. It's not bad as well. Oh, Jan Oblak. Jan Oblak collects it. It's not bad hit from Phil Foden, to be fair. He hits it with a bit of venom. Destined for that top right-hand corner, but it's one of those ones where it's far enough away to where it's... And Jan Oblak, a big guy, can come across and collect it relatively simply in the end. But he does put some venom on it. Header back down from Gay. He does well. Slovenia on the ball, looking to try and create a bit of space down the right-hand side. They win a throw. Right by the corner flag. I have a football game on Sunday. Well, good luck, peasant. It's a peasant servant is what I was aiming for. I don't know where I got peasant from. Good luck. And drink lots of water. Because, Jesus, it's too hot. And I don't know what the weather's going to be like on Sunday where you are, but it's probably going to be hot. So make sure to get on that water. That's mine. That's my advice. You're welcome. This is Pony, Kemi. I don't think you're wrong. Played in. Gallagher tries to turn it. Can't quite get away from the Slovenia player who does well. The layoff, though, by Sesko is poor, and thankfully, we don't get punished from it. There is Sesko, plays it out wide to the right-hand side in the corner quadrant now, looking for the cross there. Number 20 finds there. Number 2 on the overlap. Ooh, he fired it in there, bounces off the player. If there was even a remotely lucky bounce there, that could have ended up in the back of the net. Thankfully, it doesn't. One of those ones where the cross is so difficult, so hard that it's not even aware of where it's really going to hit. It's still on the ball though, Slovenia. Still wide on the right-hand side, still in that corner quadrant. Passing it around amongst themselves, the number 2 and the number, I think it was 20. Trying to find the space. And failing. Harry Kane looking to nip in there. Doesn't quite make it happen. And slowly but surely England press and cover those passing lanes. To try and force Slovenia to go forward in awkward ways. It doesn't quite work out that time. They still have possession of the ball, though not really going anywhere with it. Our defensive shape is very, very similar to Moyes'. Very similar to Moyes. You have that sort of 4-4-2 defensive shape with Kane, and then you have the 10 in Bellingham who's getting involved and running around. You get a little bit more license from the left winger to push forward than you do under Moyes, but you also have Bukayo Saka on the other side. It's very familiar in that sense, although not quite as solid defensively, perhaps I would hesitate to say. Slovenia's still on the ball, passing it around. They've managed to get their way to just outside the area without really penetrating it or being able to create anything from it, but they've gained those yards and are sort of in the area now, trying to figure out how to find that final ball. And there it is, a little dink over the top. It's not bad. Ball comes across. Sesko looking for maybe something there. Nothing can happen. Bukayo Saka goes for the safe option, lays it back to Kyle Walker. Harry Kane goes down. It's going to be a free kick to England. Slovenia player goes down in the area there under pressure from Saka. It's a bit easy for me the way he goes down there. Just a little bit easy for me. Can't lie. Yeah, it's not ideal, is it, Big Red? We're being honest. Will England make 5 subs? Have they a chance to get a full house if not? I doubt it. I can't see 5 subs happening. I think Gay's and I think he's been brilliant. I think Gay's actually been a shining light in this tournament so far. I think he's been really good. I like Gay here a lot of it. I think he's stepped up. I think he's genuinely stepped up and done his job well. Not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but well. This is poor. You're not wrong, Iggy. You're not wrong. Walker is overrated. I don't think he's overrated, but I think he's made perhaps over the hill. I also don't think you're ever going to get the Walker that plays for Manchester City for England. They're just 2 different roles, two different systems. Match bingo again. I'm so annoyingly close. I need it. Trippier plays it out wide to Foden. Looks to dribble his way inwards. It's in those moments we don't really seem to know what to do with the ball. When Trippier and Foden have it down that left-hand side, we don't seem to, and it's not sort of in the corner quadrant, we don't seem to know too much what to do with it. Bellingham does well to drag some players around, finds Trippier. That's not a bad opportunity to cross it in. How's that not in the back of the net? Gallagher and Kane so close. How is that not in the back of the net? Bellingham does well to create a bit of space down the left-hand side, finds Trippier deeper, who whips in a vicious cross, dipping, lots of pace on it. Gallagher goes for the header, misses it. Harry Kane goes for the shot at the far post, misses it. How is that not in? Just a little bit over the top of Gallagher and a little bit too far. It's a beautiful, beautiful ball. A beautiful ball. Doesn't quite work out. I know, Richard, you're telling me. So I'm struggling, mate. I'm struggling. I'm going to have to go and refill the water at some point because it's not good. It's not good. I've got a fan down there and I'm still sweating buckets. Doesn't help that I have several lights on me, but at the same time, I'm sweating buckets. Do you play for a team? No. No, I used to, but I haven't for a while. I haven't for quite a while now at this point. I haven't played football in quite a while. That's not a bad ball from Slovenia, and Walker somewhat scarily plays the ball back to Pickford, who just sort of clears his line with no real precision. But thankfully, we win a throw in, and we've managed to sort of lay us off it. Crank the AC up, my liege. Listen, if I could, I would. I wish that was a thing that existed in this country. I mean, technically, you could buy air conditioning, I guess, but we do not. It's not. It doesn't come installed as a prerequisite. Let's put it that way. We have actually genuinely had conversations about potentially getting AC though, but it's just too expensive. So CBA. So we just deal with small fans that don't cool you down that well enough. And listen, I could do many things with these. You know, gifted on the ball is how to describe myself. Declan Rice looking to try and beat his man, but doesn't. Again, we're in that situation where every outfield player is in their half, passing it around amongst ourselves, trying to find the space, not quite managing it. Harry Kane getting involved, short hits it, deflects. It's going to be a corner. I'm not against Harry Kane dropping deep. I'll be honest with you, I am not against Harry Kane dropping deep. In a scenario where they're sitting deep in the way they are, I don't mind him getting involved, just sort of nipping in, building up play, dragging them a little bit out of position. As long as you get, as long as you're in a scenario where Bellingham, Foden, people like that, Saka can maybe make the most of the space that's created. And so far, I think we're not making the most of it, but there's certainly signs that we could do it. Yeah. Here comes the corner, whips in across Declan Rice at the back post. It's over top of everyone, and Declan Rice is apparently a free kick somehow. What's the temperature? I don't know what it hit. I think it was 28. I think tomorrow's going to be sort of in the 29, 30 region. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but we're in the middle of a mini heat wave. Fans that blow warm air, yeah, exactly. I remember when I went to my dad lived in New York for a period, and I went to New York to stay with him one summer, and it was so unbelievably hot. Like, it was just so ridiculously hot in New York, right? And then at night he would just turn the AC on, and it was so nice. It was mind blowing how nice and powerful that stuff could be. Yeah. I long for those days. I long for having AC, and maybe one day. Not today though. Not today. Stones finds Gallagher, plays out wide again. Gallagher's sort of been not super impactful, but equally not been bad. It's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult. We sort of keep looking towards that left hand side, and our best moments have come down the left. That is definitely true. But we haven't really had that space. I mean, when you think about what Saka wants and what he's really good at, and what Kyle Walker's good at, which is that fast transition football, that nipping in quickly from behind, that on the turn speed and pace to see from there. Nice ball from Saka, the back heel though from Bellingham doesn't quite work out. His passing piece of today. When you think about that, we haven't really had the opportunities to do that against Slovenia, which isn't necessarily shocking given the way they're playing. Yeah, it's long. No, the radiator is off. We're safe there. But 28 here is like 35 in other places. Yeah. There is the halftime whistle. No. Houses in the UK are built to contain heat. They're not built to let it out. At all. Yeah. Take lots of water. I think this is the difference, right? Between like the heat being designed for houses that retain heat like ours, and other houses that aren't designed to do that in hot places like Texas. It's just horrendous. It's just horrible. There is halftime. I don't know. It's a difficult game because you're playing a team against Slovenia who are defending relatively well and are happy to Moyes ball it, in terms that West Ham fans will understand. They're happy to Moyes ball it, right? They're happy to sit deep and then spring out on the break towards their front two, and they've done that relatively well. They've defended relatively well and they've countered relatively well, but they aren't really causing many problems. But realistically, they're not really stopping us massively. Like, they're defending okay, but I think if we had that little bit more inventiveness, we would maybe be able to break them down. And that's sort of where I look at it and I ask the questions of the players like Bellingham, like Foden. And I think we had the one moment through Foden, Trippier, and Rice, for example. Outside of that, again, you start to ask questions. Bellingham's passing's been sloppy. In fact, most of England's passing's been sloppy, if we're being honest about it. There's always felt a little bit too stretched, a little bit behind. The crosses been a little bit off. The short passing, the long passing, it's all just been that little bit off. We were talking about the build-up coming down the left-hand side predominantly, and that's because, when you're playing against a team who sit deep, that right-hand side, which is sort of built for the counter, with Saka and Walker, who are both brilliant at those transitional moments, flying forward on the turn, getting in very quickly in behind. You're not really seeing the moments where that can happen. And Slovenia aren't really getting far enough forward with enough numbers to really make those sort of things possible. You see that when we do it, when West Ham do it. You see us sitting deep, and I often talk about they need to play faster through our lines to be able to break us down, and that's because we will, dare to sort of get those players forward, whereas Slovenia not really doing that today, which is why you make sense where you see a lot of that progression come down the left-hand side with Foden and Trippier, and players who are a little bit more used to the intricacies of small passing to try and break teams down and to get in very quickly. And that's where that moment comes from. It's always difficult when you have Trippier at left back, because of course he's right-footed, so he wants to turn in. But in that sense, when they're deep into their area, it shouldn't really affect you too much, if we're being honest about it, because you can still get the crosses in from Foden. We saw that from the left-hand side with his left foot. We saw that incredible cross that he put in that was so close to getting something, but you can also get that sort of those deep crosses that Aaron Cresswell provides for West Ham, for example, from Kieran Trippier from that left-hand side, that can still exist, where the ball gets played back to Trippier quickly and he can whip in that really close, that really sort of low trajectory whipped cross, which comes really close from Kane and Gallagher to going in. But it's difficult because we don't seem super capable of breaking down Slovenia. Even though we have the players to do it, even though we should have the ability to do it, not really doing it, if we're being honest about it, not really getting in as close as we would want it to. And then on top of that, you look at, say, their attacking instinct. Slovenia, I had said 2-1 before the game would be my prediction, and they don't look particularly like they're going to score either. So it does solely come down to, if that's the case, if Slovenia aren't going to get forward and aren't going to score, then it really does solely come down to, solely 100% come down to how can we break them down. And the answer right now is we don't know. We don't know. But how do you feel? Let me know in the live chat. We, of course, sponsored by Match Bingo today, which I should bring up now while you get your thoughts in the live chat. It's a lovely app for your phone which combines betting and football. It combines football and bingo. It's the only betting app I really understand exactly. You pay £2 to get a card. It does involve money, of course. It is betting, so 18 plus is required. But you get a card and it shows you all the events you would need that get ticked off as the game go on. So, for example, if you're looking at this one, this is one of my cards for today's game. The purple ones are ones that are ticked off. The grey ones are the ones that aren't greyed out so far. So, for example, if you get one line, you win money. If you win 2 lines, you win money. If you get a full house, you win money. And there is a cheeky bonus full house pot as well on top of that. So, for example, with this one, I am one Slovenia right-footed goal away from winning money, from winning £25, and people do win on this. This is the big thing for us, is people do win on this, and it feels like everyone does apart from me, because Gio has won it, Gonzo has won it, and lots of people in our live chat and lots of people in the community have won it as well. So if you do want to get involved, if you do want to have a look again, you do have to be 18 plus, because it is technically betting. £2 per card, but more importantly, the link is in the description below, in which you'll find it, and then we'll have a look at how Gio and Gonzo's cards are doing as well in a few moments' time. But let's have a look at the vibe of you lot as well. You've had a great first half. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Trying. Voice is struggling a little bit, but we're trying. I didn't think you'd been watching Moyes Ball well in summer. Listen, Listen, listen. If we didn't think that, we wouldn't have been paying attention to England for a while. Mick, hello, Charlie. Just realised you're doing a watch. Thank you very much, Mick. Hope you're doing well yourself. Hope things are all good for you, sir. Hope things are all good. We will be live throughout every England game in a tournament, and then probably, I think the plan is to do one watch along per round after England go out, if they do go out as well. So we'll be here for the entire tournament, I believe. That was one awful 45 minutes. Yeah, usual. You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. If England can't decisively beat Slovenia, what hope is there? And what hope for the knockouts is there? Says Barry. Yeah, I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I think this is a team that are set up to play against bigger sides, and teams who are going to go at you. It's why we saw Moyes Ball work against certain big teams or teams that are who tactically will step to you. Whereas you look at, say, when we faced a Burnley or whoever, and we struggled against it with West Ham. Similar instance with England, right? I think if we were going up against a team who was stepping to us tactically, who are a bigger side, we probably would have a little bit more joy, I guess, than we do against teams who aren't set up to do that, like Slovenia, where we are just struggling quite a lot. And I wouldn't want to be the guy who puts a bet on that us to win in those games, to be fair. Greeno says, truly awful. You could see the attitude of the England players in the first 90 seconds. Pathetic. Yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not good. And that's something I do think as much as we do need to have a conversation about Gareth Southgate's tactics, and there are definitely questions to be had, I do think there is some questions about the players as well. Like I say, passing has been way too sloppy in this game. Way too sloppy. England's sound to be crowned European champions in passing the ball sideways and backwards. Listen, it's something we're very accomplished at. Get Gordon on and move Foden over, says Barry. I think Gordon, I wouldn't even hesitate to take Foden off, although I think he's done all right today, actually, to be fair. I think Foden's been a lot more on it today than he has in other games. He's been a lot more active, and the big opportunity came for a bit of inventiveness through him. But I wouldn't be against getting Gordon on that left hand side. I don't know how effective it would be in this game, but I wouldn't be against it. I think the big question for us is how do we break down a team who is sitting deep with Slovenia, not necessarily how can we get in behind them. But I wouldn't exactly be against getting Gordon on. Let me put it to you that way. Too slow, too predictable. No idea how to break a team down, says Thomas. Yeah, I strongly agree. Barry says bring on Gomez too. I'm not necessarily against that either. I think Trippier's been okay. I think the ball in shown again, if they're sitting deep, you can get something from that, which Joe Gomez wouldn't have the ability of doing, but I certainly wouldn't be against it. I'm interested to see where they go next after Southgate. Yeah, me too. I was having this conversation with someone the other day, actually. I'm really interested to see what happens because you're going to need a manager who can get the most. Look, defensively, we just aren't there. And I think Southgate was one of those ones where it made sense at the time, and his performances and the results, I should say, modern performances, have denoted that he would stay for as long as he has. Like, it's been difficult to get rid of a manager who's pulling off tournament results in the way he has. It makes it very, very... Well, you can't really drop him. Now that it looks like it's going to happen and his time at England is done, I find it very interesting who's going to be the next person, because it's no longer a sticking plaster type appointment like Southgate was. You're going to look for someone who is capable of getting the best out of like a double 10 type system, who can bring up an idea that will get the best out of Bellingham and Foden, because that's really the big question here. Is Bellingham and Foden. When people are talking about England being favourites for this tournament, it's not necessarily because of a lot of other players. It's mainly because of how good Bellingham and Foden have been. And don't get me wrong, Saka is obviously in that conversation as well for the future. And there's a couple of others with Declan Rice. And I guess they're the main ones for the future. And then currently you have your Harry Kanes and whatnot in there as well. It's very interesting to me. It's very, very interesting to me. And I have no clue who it will be. Well, I have one idea, and I'm quite scared of the answer being Jose Mourinho, but I'm intrigued. Jan says we need the Premier League to start ASAP. He's done with this international football lark. Anton, hi, good to see you. Hope you're well. It won't go further south, Richard B. Well, Lopetegui to be taken is taken, so boohoo FA. Yeah, I mean, look, that he would find some more breaking down. I mean, that's the whole idea of his system, is trying to break teams down who sit deep. So we'll see. But again, it's a very, very interesting question, if we're being honest. England need to rotate the pitch 90 degrees so they can pass the ball forward, hopefully. Yeah, if we started, what if we did a formation, right? If we did the 4-2-3-1, but like across. You know how like Thiago Motta or whoever it is Thiago Motta? Who says that he plays like a 2-7-2 or whatever it was, but he counts them sideways. What if we started doing that? What if we just set up sideways? Then maybe 50% of the time we'd have to be going forward. Foden's the only one who's hungry. The rest are just on the pitch for me. A bunch of journeymen. Where's the passion? Yeah, it does. There definitely does need to be a level stepped up. I 100% agree with you there. I 100% agree with the fact that I think there needs to be a level stepped up in this one, Daniel. There's, like I say, there's conversations to be had about Gareth Southgate's tactics. 100%. That's not a doubt. We can have that. We can figure that out. But the performances on the pitch haven't been good enough either. It's 50-50. Talking about the weather is better than talking about the crap I'm watching at the moment. It's very hot though, in it. It is very hot. Same as you've been playing, not one a penny. Sunny, I'm sorry. So many people in the chat have as well. That's the part for me. Is so many people in the chat have won a match bingo. And I see it, and the time where I looked at it and I was like, oh, Gio's won at match bingo. And the time I opened my phone and it was like, and people are going, Gonzo's won match bingo. And I look and I go, yeah, he has. And I get to text Gonzo and go, you've watched match bingo. One day it will happen for me. I'm confident of that. I'm very excited. Literally, it's got to the point now before the stream, my girlfriend goes, good luck on the bingo. I'm like, thank you. Because that's the only thing I care about at this point. It's the only thing I care about. Chastity's not happy. Get Gallagher off, move Foden central, drop Bellingham back and bring on Gordon. Also get Bowen on, go for it, says Garino. I think we need to get Sir Alex back. Listen, let the man have his retirement. He won everything there is to have. Let him go and have his retirement. Also, the more I think about Roy Keane, the less I want Alex Ferguson. Although, you know, I'm real manager. What an awful team, says Mark. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. Gibster says Bellingham looks half-arsed most of the time. Well, it's weird because in the first game I thought he was utterly brilliant. I thought that first game Bellingham was incredible. There were so many questions to be had about whether or not he could live up to the expectations, and then that first game he did. Second one he flattered to deceive, and again it's another flattered to deceive moment. His moving out to the left hand side and that switching round sort of freedom that him and Foden are doing is creating something, but his passing today has just not been good enough. Just not been good enough. It's funny how the what more do you want pundits are getting on Southgate's back. There was a question about that on Hamalytics, which I think we'll speak about on the Patreon this week. Can't remember who asked it, but someone in the questions for Hamalytics this week on patreon.com/HammersChat, link in the description below, did mention that. I don't know what I'm going to say about it yet, but I guess it depends how the game goes. But yeah. Drop Kane as well. F it, go full Mike Bassett. We are playing 4-4 effing 2. Captain punches the ball as he goes out. I need to watch that film again. What a film. Can't see England getting past the next round at this rate. Steve saying midfield setup still not working. Saka still can't deal with close marking. Kane poor on ball, poor decision making, and too greedy. There are definitely more questions than answers. I was trying to hear. I heard the word changes. I was trying to see if I could hear. I don't know if they said he was going to make changes or asking whether or not changes would be made. Slovenia are currently making their way out for the second half. England are there. Kobe Mainu is the one. Kobe Mainu is getting ready to come on for Gallagher. I'm not surprised. Mainu's come on for Gallagher. I think it's interesting. Did he go to Fenerbahce? I didn't know he went to Fenerbahce. Thank you. Collingwood, as per usual, carrying everything. Thank you. I didn't know that was the thing. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you, Coach. Thank you very much. I've gone with Coach now. I'm just changing your name every time. I apologize, Servant. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. The link is in the description below. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. And like the video because it helps us out massively. Yeah, it's not good. It's interesting, Mainu on. It's genuinely interesting. I'm not surprised he took Gallagher off. I think interestingly, this is the game where you want someone who's going to be able to sort of break the teams down going forward. So it's interesting in that sense. Not shocking that it's happened. I think Gallagher, he hasn't had a negative impact, but I would say he hasn't had a positive one either. I don't think he's really done anything. So as we get the second half underway, it'll be interesting to see how Mainu, who is capable of getting the ball forward and moving around, what happens with that? What happens? But the second half is about to get underway. 0-0 is the scoreline. Again, unless something horrendous happens, England are going through. So for this, it is going to be a game more of experiments of how to break teams down, which isn't going to help us out massively going forward in the tournament. It has to be said, once you get to the late stages and there are better teams, they're going to be a lot more on top of you. But it is going to be interesting to see again how this ends up playing out. That is the only change from either side. There it is. We are back underway. Come on, England. Deploy the boys. Time to run two things. Big ball from Slovenia to kick off the half. Straight into the hands of Jordan Pickford. Thank you, Kesnos. Hit the like below, ladies and gentlemen. It helps us out massively. Helps us out massively. How do we feel about Mainu on? Barry saying that's good. What are we saying? How do we feel specifically about Mainu coming on? Hopefully at some point Gordon is alive. Let's get Flash. Yes. Savior of the universe. Bow, 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 bum, 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 bum. It's in my head now. Not going to be able to stop thinking about it. So, there we go. Sunderland fan. Okay, we'll change. You can change it. There we go. So I will denote you Sunderland, sir. And I will try. I'll probably get it wrong again, knowing me. I'm very bad at it. So yeah, better, but still two CDMs, says Kevin. You've got to shout in a Brian Blessed voice. I'm coughing so much that I don't know if I could rub Gordon's. I don't know. Gonzo would back it. Gordon's. No. The voice can't. The voice can't back it. If Gonzo was here, he would go full for it. Gordon's alive. That's all I've got in me. Just call me Mackham. I'll try my hardest to remember. Bellingham wide on the left hand side, plays it in towards Mainu. His pass backwards is a bit wonky. Let's turn it up slightly. Okay. Zanussi says hi. Zanussi, good to see you, sir. Laid out wide to the left-hand side. Looking to try and cross the ball in. Foden. Was it Foden or was it? It might be Trippier, actually, to be fair. It's a nice idea to try and find Mainu, but Slovenia can come away with a counter-attack. How about Mac? The further away we get from the words on screen, the more likely I am to forget it. I'll hit it with Mackham. Every time I see Sunderland, I will think Mackham and I will smash that out of the park. He said, completely lying. I'll smash it out of the park. Stones on the ball. Are we going to see a goal in this game? I reckon so, Kez. I think it will happen. More than one? Don't know. I think we'll see one. Saka. Looking to try and play his way inwards. Does. He's sort of very central. He finds Bellingham just wide of him. It's Kyle Walker. Plays it down the line for Saka. Oh, it's a nice turn. Finds Kobe Mainu, plays it in towards Jude Bellingham, who can't quite get the control, but still manages to keep the ball for England, and he wins a corner. We'll take it. Close. I like the movement from Mainu. Mainu's got a lot further forward than Conor Gallagher has, and he's been moving left to right, getting in little pockets of space here and there. I'm liking that effect. Again, we're in a situation where we're going to have to break Slovenia down, and so having someone who's going to be moving around like that Conor Gallagher just wasn't doing, impactful. Quick taking corner. Don't know how I feel about it. Sleds at the feet of Kobe Mainu. Walker. Feels like we've just lost out the opportunity. Rice crosses it in, header down from Kane. Sort of bounced back across. There was no real opportunities. If everyone stays forward, everyone stay far forward. Don't come back. Don't come back. Don't come back. They've started to come back. Opportunities lost. Opportunities gone. Manu loses out on the ball. All Foden does well to nip in and then plays the ball out towards Bellingham. Now shifting across to the left-hand side, back into the centre. I'm liking, oh, nice first-time pass from Manu. Bellingham can't quite get the ball out of his feet to try and find that through ball to Kane. Ball over the top. Gehi does well to control that one. Lovely stuff from Gehi. Really nicely done. Finds Saka. He's got space ahead of him, really, for the first time. Sprint into the space. He finds Kane. Pull it across. It's going to be a corner. Better. It's not, again, he's not beating the allegations, Iggy. I keep saying it, but he's not beating the allegations. There's going to be a set piece who's going to score it. Yeah, very true. Who does this team need? Jordan Hugill for a start. Big Thomas Souček, Real Madrid legend, future Real Madrid legend, Thomas Souček from the corner. The wrecking ball, Craig Dawson. Richard, 100% correct. There we go. That's what we needed. That's what we need. We need those corners, Trippier corners whipped in onto his dome. Ball over top, Kane heads it down. We're going too deep with these corners, man. We're going way too deep with these corners. Foden flash shot from range goes very wide. Again, you get Craig Dawson in there. You don't need to go deep. You just get it. You just whip it vaguely in towards him, and he's just gonna pow. You know, just pow. Light work. Gio's getting closer, man. Gio's getting closer. He's filling out these ones over here. He's got a couple of decent opportunities here. Gonzo again. Gonzo's got two lines really close here. Really, really close. And you come down to me. This is the card. If any of this happens, we're Gucci. I don't know if it will, but we're Gucci. We're getting close. But Gio and Gonzo have a couple of real good opportunities card-wise. Real good opportunies. Lee Cattermole, get him in! I'll tell you what, if there was ever a person for the list, Collingwood, it would be Lee Cattermole. Let's be real about it. He is prime list material. There's just too much to discuss. It's just too much to discuss. No one has won on the match bingo yet. I'm looking at the bottom to see if anyone's won, and there hasn't been anyone yet. Again, it is betting, so make sure you're 18 plus, £2 per card, but link is in the description below. Ball out wide to Walker. Finds Kobe Manu. I really like the impact he's had so far. Second half significantly better than the first so far, mainly because of him. Foden looking to try and nip that ball in towards Saka, trying to find that space again for him. Ball over top, Declan Rice very awkwardly falls down. I think he'll be fine, but watching him now, he seems to be moving normally again now, but goes for the header, completely falls over. That's not a bad ball from Kane over the top. Walker, the first time cross from Walker just couldn't really get control or get his foot over it. Again, I'm not against Kane dropping deep in any way, shape or form. I think it does unlock something for us that we just don't get otherwise. But, yeah, so far, not happening. Let's do another poll. Sorry if you can hear loud typing. Okay. I love a poll. Bellingham, ooh, goes down, turn it into a ghost halfway through that. If Kane drops, you need runners. Yes, but we have them. Saka should be the runner. Foden can be a runner. Bellingham should be the runner. I'm not, and with Manu, who's sort of getting involved, sort of here, there, and everywhere, that should allow those people. And you've seen it with Saka a minute ago. You've seen it with the ability to find those spaces. It should allow you to do it. And especially when you're facing a team who is sitting deep. If they're sitting deep, then I don't think it's a problem at all to have Kane dropping. I think it allows you to sort of drag the defenders out, move it around a little bit, and then find the pockets of space. Get involved deeper in space, start dragging their defenders all here, there, and everywhere. Pardon me. If you're hitting them on a counter attack, pardon me, flipping it. If you're hitting them on a counter attack and Kane drops deep, then you're desperate for the runners. And Saka, again, should be able to do that. But if he's not there, then there's a lot of questions to be asked. But if they're sat deep and we're just sort of passing it around, trying to find the space to break them down, have him drop in deep. Have him drag some people around. Have him moving around here, there, and everywhere. I'm here for it. Jay, I've lasted until about 3:15. Fair play, bro. Jay, appreciate you for coming. Cheers. Sleep well. Sleep well. Bellingham picks up the ball again on the left-hand side. Walker out wide to Saka, looking to try and take him on. Bellingham looking to try and dink it in, can't quite make it work. Declan Rice can just about get control of the ball, well done. And finds Bellingham, who's taking up what feels like a little bit of a more permanent role wide on the left-hand side. Kobe Mainu taken out there. It's going to be a free kick to England. Just looks to try and turn. I mean, the touch was a little bit higher, but I'll tell you what, that is rough from the Slovenian defender. It looks worse in slow motion as everything does, but bloody hell. Probably should have been a yellow card, I'm not going to lie. He comes in just sort of all over him. There's elbows all over the shop. In Cambodia. Oh, I didn't know you were in Cambodia. Fair play, Jay. Well, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Probably hotter here currently than it is in Cambodia, though. Not going to lie about it, but at the same time, makes sense, bro. Go sleep. Go sleep. Good to see you, as per. Didn't see him. He started warming up. I didn't see him, Rob. I didn't see him. Free kick. Foden's the one who whips it in. Say what? It's good defending. Ball gets played back across to flicks up again. It's going to be another corner. It wasn't a bad. It was a good ball in actually. It was good defending. That sort of just the ball comes across and it's a dangerous header to take, but you just have to commit to sort of get anything on it, because if it doesn't, that's dipping perfectly into the path of the likes of Harry Kane just behind you, and it's good defensive header. Ball gets played back across and it's going to go out for a corner. So Foden to take it. It's going to be an outswinger again, this time from the left-hand side as opposed to the right. Foden to take. All the big boys are in there. Foden. Looking for Kane. Head on to it. Oh, this dinks up. Head back across goal. It's bouncing across. Head tennis. Overhead kick. Oh, yeah, no. Black controls it. And it's going to be a free kick anyway. There was a moment. Where Saka was upside down and I thought it was happening. Sort of a bit of head tennis ensues, bounces around, and then Saka goes for the spectacular, clobbers the number 7. I mean, I tell you what, fair play to the number 7 for lobbing his head in there when Saka was sort of mid flip. I mean, there's no reason why he wouldn't, and I do think he gets connected with Saka's foot. He seems to be completely okay though, but fair play. Was it number 7 or was it the number 9? It was the number 9. It was their striker. Can't remember his name. His name is Spora. Spora is what I'm going to say. Fair play to him. Apparently, there's lots of conversations going on at the moment. Kyle Walker looking to receive some sort of treatment, maybe. Trippier involved in conversations as well. Saka on the ball. Finds Kobe Mino. I really like the impact he's had. Oh, ball over the top for Saka doesn't quite work. Here's Kane again in those deeper positions, which I like. I'm liking the deeper positions today. Specifically, it's not an every game thing, but specifically in this one, in the positions that we're in, I'm quite liking this dropping deep lark. I don't know if I like these groups at the Euros. What's the point? May as well go straight to knockout, have something riding in these matches. I don't know. I guess the argument would be, I don't know. It would actually be it'd be an interesting discussion from someone who's just interested in how things work. It'd actually be quite interesting to know what the thought process is between having, say, straight knockout tournaments and group stages. Like, do the group stages mean that lesser teams get more games, I guess, would be the argument, which I'm not against. But it does mean there's dead rubber games like this. Kobe Mino, that's not a bad ball over the top, was looking for Kane. Couldn't quite find him. Bellingham collects it wide on the left-hand side. He's taken up a more permanent residency on the left. Declan Rice with a heavy touch finds Foden. Little quick 1-2. Looking for Rice again. Loses out. Šeško looking to try and chest the ball down for a strike partner. But England reclaim again. This is good from England. Much better half from England. Not brilliant. Not unbelievable. But much better. Mainu. Plays it out wide to Walker. Darts past his man, pulls it across. Gonna be a goal kick. Gonna be a goal kick. Like the idea, but didn't quite work out for him. Yeah, it does go out. Does go out. Bowen is 10. I don't think Bowen's 10 times the player. I like the work rate Bowen brings though. I really like that, and obviously I would. I'm a West Ham fan, but I really like the work rate Bowen brings. That's why when he was getting subbed on in the first game, and people are like, "You're crazy, you're crazy. Why would you bring on Bowen as opposed to Gordon or blah blah blah?" Anyone who's not a West Ham fan saying these things basically, and I'm like, this is a good sub, and instantly he makes the impact. I wouldn't be against Bowen being the impact sub for every game. I think he's great. The way it is at the moment, you win your first game, you're through. Yeah, I get. I from a perspective of a team who are expected to go through it, I think that's a fair point. I think that's a fair point. It's interesting. Like I say, I would love to speak to someone whose decision it is to create tournaments and that, and why you would go for knockout groups and knockout stages as opposed to groups or the other way around. I would love to have that conversation. Saka picks it up off the 1-2. Apparently, that's a free kick. Arms raised from Saka. He doesn't really understand how. I'm not entirely certain either. Turn it off for this one. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. Listen, if I've dealt with Moyes this entire time, I can deal with this. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain how that's a free kick. I'm not going to lie. Against Saka. It kind of ruins qualifying now. That's the problem. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation actually, because I think there are definitely pros and cons. And I'm not against pure knockout. I love knockout football, so I'm not against it as an idea. I like the idea of being able to play against more teams, but I guess from an England perspective, we'd be expected to go through to the last 16 quarters, semis most of the time, regardless. So it doesn't really make much of a difference. But I do quite like the idea of being able to play more of the smaller teams. Shot from range comes in for Slovenia. Constantly wide. It's an interesting idea. Maybe, just maybe, they realise now they are not as good as they think they are. I mean, I think there's certainly an argument. I do think when England was getting put down as one of the favourites, I did always think it was a bit of a stretch. I thought if you're ranking them, England would be very, very high up. Very, very high up. But in the conversation for these potential tournament winners, I did always think it was a bit of a stretch. Because the cohesiveness just isn't there in the same way it is for other nations. he's made one change. He's brought on Mainu, and it did genuinely change the game. To be fair to Miggy, I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Should he be doing more? Probably, yeah. But he did genuinely change things with Mainu coming on. Walker gets it down to Saka. Mainu was also there. If you had a 64 team knockout, what's the point in qualifying? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess you give the lesser teams, or do you give them a higher opportunity of qualifying, or getting getting through to the knockout stages for group stage football? I don't know. Yeah, I think you raised a point there. You raised a good point. Slovenia player goes down here. After getting a knock from Jude Bellingham. Decides to go down after being fined for a second. Yeah, that one's definitely a dive. Well, not, I guess not a dive, just making the most of it, let's say. $25 minutes to go, 0-0. Still. That initial sort of burst, that opening 10 minutes of the second half, where we looked a lot better, has sort of dissipated now. And we're back to sort of struggling a little bit. Slovenia growing in the game a little bit. You start to ask the questions. What do you do? Subs are the obvious answer. Gordon, someone who a lot of people would want to bring on the left. I guess would change things. I wouldn't be against Ollie Watkins. I think Harry Kane's doing. I think Harry Kane is at best doing okay, but I certainly wouldn't be against Ollie Watkins. Even if you changed it quite significantly, and maybe you brought on Watkins alongside him. I don't know. I think there's a couple of different things you could do, and I'd be interested to see which of them he'll pick, because I suspect the subs will happen sooner rather than later at this point. We're 23 and a half minutes away from 23 and a half minutes away from full time. It would be interesting to see what he decides to go with. Played short. Saka. Nice ball in towards Kane, but he can't get there. Rice does well to nod that one down. Foden looking to try and dribble his way in from the central position. Can't beat two man. He was looking for a free kick. Oh, Slovenia can come forward. Mark Gay is going to collect a yellow card there for a professional foul. That's as easy a yellow you're ever going to see. Slovenia out of nowhere, just on the break, both their two strikers flying forward from the long ball from the centre back. And it's a little bit awkward from Gay. Can't get the initial control, bounces off his shin, and then just ends up pulling him back. I guess that would also be an argument, right, money-wise. You raise a fair point, Richard, to be fair. That's also probably quite an obvious reason why they do it. Even as a neutral says Hard Corpse, it's difficult to watch. Moyes ball. Our first 11 are going to be knackered as we've hardly played any subs in all 3 games. Yeah, that is a concern of mine, Iggy. That is definitely a concern of mine. I back it, Richard. I 100% back it. I love it. I love knockout football. Knockout football's brilliant. It also makes playing this style of football more like palatable because it's like you win, you're through. You just get through by any means necessary. Adds an element of jeopardy. I'm 100%. I'm 100% in the camp of knockout football as well. To be fair. 20 minutes plus stoppage time to go. 29 meters away. Free kick for Slovenia, slightly across to the left-hand side. Not by much from the D, but slightly across to the left-hand side. They got a left footer over the top of it. He's going to cross it towards that back post area, and it's over the top of everyone. And it's going to be a goal kick to Jordan Pickford, or even a free kick. Bellingham's down. Could also be that. Yeah, again, just loose elbows from some of the Slovenia players, let's say, on Jude Bellingham now. Here is the England change. Cole Palmer for Saka. Our corpse says it there. Palmer on for Saka. Interesting. I'll be honest with you, interesting. Don't know how I feel about it. What do we think? Palmer for Saka. Vibes. What are we saying? Before you draw your terminal breath and all that? The difference is quite substantial, Kez. I'll say that. The difference is quite substantial. So no Bowen. Yeah, I mean that's probably that is probably where we're at. That's probably where we're at. I mean, I guess you could move Palmer across if you wanted to, but right now Palmer has taken up. He's taken up position wide right. Good sub, says Harcorps. About time, says Iggy. We'll see how he impacts the game. We'll see how he impacts the game. I'm not against it. I'm all for just subbing stuff and trying things. Because we're already through, so we might as well start trying stuff. I'm fine with that. Declan Rice finds John Stones. Wide to Foden, who's sort of again been given that free role. Him and Bellingham have changed at half time to more definitively. They were switching a lot in that first half, but in this second half, it really has been Bellingham just on the left and Foden down the centre. Harry Kane almost that's it. It's going to be a free kick and it's going to be an instant yellow card. Harry Kane slips past his man with the first touch and he's just dragged down by Slovenia's defender. I think it was Bajol is how I'm going to pronounce that one. It was a great turn from Harry Kane and he's just pulled down as cynically as you like, as professionally as you like. It's a yellow card as long as the day is, and right now it's very long and it's very warm. So easy yellow cards, free kick, within shooting range. And Phil Foden, who came close to scoring a free kick earlier, could be standing over this one and might want to try it. You could go for the sort of in swinging towards the corner of Phil Foden, but you could go with an outswinger from an in swinger, I guess, from Trippier around the wall. But you'd imagine it would be Phil Foden from his position. Sort of makes more sense swerve wise. 3-man wall for Slovenia. 3-man wall. It's definitely within shooting range. Oblak in goal. Jan Oblak in goal. Good goalkeeper. Going to be difficult to beat if we are going to go for it. Trippier lays it down. Takes some steps back. Could be Kieran Trippier here, you know. He does. He looks for the cross towards the back post. It's an awful cross. It's over the top of everyone. Headed down. Cole Palmer gets the control. Loses out on the ball. It's going to be a throw into England on the left-hand side. Bowen plays right back anyway. Well, you know. Not a good sub. Palmer, a very good player, but England need pace and width. He's not that, says Steve. Kez isn't happy. Like I say, it's an interesting one with Palmer. It is an interesting one, but I'm fine with us sort of just figuring stuff out with this game, I guess. A win and 2 draws, 5 points, you're guaranteed to go through. Like, it's fine, I guess. But, like, trying stuff, if we come out of this with a better knowledge of what we can and can't do, then that's fine. I think we always look towards, like, Gordon, Palmer, and people who aren't playing and go, those people are the answer, forgetting that they're still going to come on in the tactics that are being played. So it doesn't really make much of a difference, but I'm interested to see how those people work within the tactics. Palmer looking to take on his man. Beats the first one, can't beat the second. It's going to be a throw into him. Wide on the left-hand side, where he is now. Declan Rice does well to take it past his man there. Lays it short to Foden. Nice. Back to Rice, who hits it. Was almost thought it was a banger. Almost thought it was an absolute banger. 1-2, but the shot from Rice lacking significantly wide in the end. But I thought for a moment it happened. Slovenia making their first sub. And it's Sesko coming off for Ilicic is how I'm going to say it. Comes on for Sesko. We take that. Pain. Apparently the striker they've just brought on is 36. Love that from them. Palmer now taking up residency back on the right-hand side. From that defensive position, again, Bellingham alongside Kane leading that press. Gay stopping that one from going forward. Who's your favourite, Palmer, Cole, Clinton, or the mighty Harry? Favourite Palmer. I'm trying to think if there are any other Palmers that I can think of. Palmer. Famous Palmers. Do I know any of these? I don't know any of these. I'm backing Cole. It's going to be Cole. It's going to be Cole. It's going to be a Cole Palmer one. Casey Palmer from Coventry. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Harcorp's right. Casey. Former Chelsea Youth Academy guy. Mainly tries to cross. No one there. I'm going to go with Cole. I wanted Cole a lot at West Ham before he went to Chelsea. I obviously still would take him at West Ham, but that question has obviously passed. Foden picking up a yellow card. I like Cole a lot. Forgot about Casey Palmer. He was a Chelsea Youth Academy guy, right? Am I crazy? Declan Rice bundling over Ilicic. Was it him who picked up the yellow then and not Foden? They zoomed in on Foden, so I thought it was him, but maybe it was Declan. No, it was Declan who picked up. Well, they zoomed in on Declan and then said Phil Foden's got a yellow card. Who knows? Someone's got a yellow card. Slovenia looking to try and play the ball forward. Over the top of everyone, goes straight through to Jordan Pickford very damply. You know? Walker finds Palmer. Does well to take it inside. Dink over the top is nice idea to try and find Harry Kane. He does. Can the cross come in? He can. Ooh, Foden was arriving. It's a good block from the number 2 for Slovenia. It's Harry Palmer. Look, I'm not saying no. Hang on, let me double check. Am I getting confused between characters here? Am I getting confused between characters? No, see, I'd still stick with Cole. I haven't watched enough. To really take the in. Quarter comes in, Harry Kane gets his head to it, goes out wide, Foden collects it and just puts it into an interesting position, but it's going to be a free kick to Slovenia. I haven't watched enough of the Harry Palmer films, as it were. In fact, to be honest with you, that whole era of films are lost on me a lot of the time. Although, what a man, what a voice, Michael Caine. My name is Michael K. You know, as that one Madness song samples. Palmer's training real stuff. I think he's doing well. I think he's doing well. I think he's doing well. Oh, that's why Foden got a yellow. It wasn't for... okay. He got yellow for dissent. They've just shown some dissent in slow motion. So we know now. We know now. Walker finds Stones. 10 minutes to go. I'm starting to think that a goal's just not going to happen. Not one line claimed on Match Bingo yet. It's because no one scored. I think there's a lot of bits like, for example, if Slovenia score a right-footed goal, I'll claim a line instantaneously. Bang, there's a line for me, you know? If there's a goal in the 9th or 10th minute, so 9, 10, 19, 20, I claim a line. If Slovenia make their 5th substitute, I claim a line. There's a lot of like lines of potential claimage there, but they're just not quite there. Mainu trying to force his way in. Slovenia it's gonna be taken out for a free kick. Let's look at the whole Hammers chat team and see what they're saying, because I reckon there'll be similar situations where it'll be close there as well. You know? So Gio, again, we're looking for a card in the 9th or 10th minute here. Although that wouldn't be a full line. That would be a goal. Again, a goal, 7 to 8 minutes. Claim. Right-footed goal from England. Claim. Right-footed goal, England again. Claim. There's a lot of lines. There's a lot of lines from goals. Do you know what I mean? Like looking at Gonzo's, is it the same thing? If England made 5 substitutes, Gonzo would win a line. Although I don't think that's happening. If they hit the woodwork, Gonzo would hit a line. Gonzo's in such a strong position to win money here. Such a strong position to win money. I've got right-footed goal from England. Sorry, from Slovenia specifically. Goal in 9th or 10th minute, or Slovenia 5 subs. I think Gonzo's the closest. I think Gonzo here, specifically this one, woodwork no goal from England, or a goal in the 3rd, 4th minute. And all of a sudden, Gonzo's in the money. Gonzo's in the money. It's close. It's close. I feel like I've just wasted 90 minutes of my life watching this shower of crap. Listen, could be worse. You could be recovering from COVID and have a really difficult time talking. And then have to talk for, over that time. So, it could be worse. Could be worse. Palmer can't get the cross completed. England win the ball back again. Palmer. Into Bellingham. Plays it out wide. This is interesting because obviously Foden and Bellingham have sort of switched again here. Foden still sort of being allowed that free roll to float. Bellingham sort of the same. But that does mean that we've just sort of got Kieran Trippier wide left by himself. And this is the moment where you'd want Luke Shaw. This is the moment where you desperately would want Luke Shaw to be able to provide that width wide on the left-hand side, to be able to hit those crosses in quicker than Kieran Trippier can. And it really sort of dampens your play in these sort of scenarios. Because Foden's moved more central in this one, and it's not a bad ball over the top for Harry Kane. If he can control it down, maybe for Jude Bellingham. He gets the control, is forced backwards, finds Foden, hits it. Deflection off Slovenia, might have been on target, might not have. England continue to have possession of the ball. Again, that long pass, I don't think we should be afraid to play those long balls either. Especially if Kane's standing on the line in that moment. Palmer, not a bad ball in, but no one there. Palmer's going to battle again for it. Head tennis ensues. Kicks away. I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. What I want to do, I just let it play out, and then we'll figure it out after. Because I got no idea. Game is worth what Turner's on jumped on here. Thank you very much, Dave. It's very kind of you to say. Welcome. I hope you're well. Hope you're good. Seeing your match bingo cards is better than this game. Tom, they'll love that. They'll love that, and I'll make sure to forward it on. Trent coming on now. Is it for Trippier? Is that what we're saying, Hardcorps? Yes. So Walker's going left back and Trent's coming on right back. Not necessarily against it. Not necessarily against it. Ryanair warming up the engines for the quarterfinals. I've decided, by the way, when I went on holiday, I've decided planes are amazing. I know this is like old news for most people, but man, planes, crazy. You know what I mean? They're just wild. You get in this thing and then it just goes really fast and then just starts flying. And then you're just like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 feet in the air. And you just look out of a window, you look down, and you're like, man, between my feet and the floor is 30,000 feet. Crazy. Crazy. Especially if you listen to like the right sort of music when you're flying. Oh, unreal. Right, they're going to make a couple more changes as well here. So who did we do? We did Trippier for Trent. They're also bringing off Malaka and Spora. Malaka. Or Salah. He's coming on as well as Stankovic. Stankovic and Salah are coming on. There we go. Couldn't tell you much about him. Where'd you go? Ireland. I went over to Ireland. That's why Ryanair reminded me. We went to rural Ireland to see some of my girlfriend's family. It was actually sick. I can't lie. It was actually sick. I'm big into Ireland, and I would happily move to Ireland. It's expensive, but I would happily move to Ireland. I mean, don't get me wrong. Getting in a taxi in rural Ireland, like I mean, rural, like no buildings, no nothing near you for miles around, and then finding out I'm a West Ham fan and starting to talk to me about David Moyes in out. I don't need that stress in my life. But apart from that, beautiful, beautiful. Palmer's on the right. Palmer's on the right. He has switched over a couple of times to the left. You've seen it, but that's just more situational. He is playing on the right, and then if a moment dictates it, he will end up on the left, but he is definitively on the right. I wonder if Harry Kane will start crying when Lineker calls England crap tomorrow. Fair play to Gary Lineker on being quite honest about it. It was interesting watching the reaction. I actually watched the last game. I missed the first half of it because I was asleep because I was ill. But I saw the second half and then was listening to the commentary and the punditry after, and I found it very, very I found it very interesting. Nice idea from Palmer. And he wins a free kick. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it was a free kick, but he's won it and we'll take it. Free kick wide on the right-hand side. It's going to be essentially a slightly deeper corner from Cole Palmer. He does well to get any touch on the ball and control it and then just straight away runs into the guy. It's one of those ones where I wouldn't call it a foul, but listen, we take it. I found it very interesting how critical the pundits were. I found it interesting to listen to in general, but I didn't agree with everything they said. I agreed with a lot of what they said, but I found it interesting because you don't tend to see that with England at all, if we're being honest. From either commentary or punditry, you don't tend to hear that. So it was quite interesting. It's such a shame for England, especially because you have so much talent and world-class players. It's obviously the manager's fault. It's such a shame. Good luck with the rest of the competition. Fair, Hardcorps. Fair. I don't disagree. I think the players do have some to blame, but it's obviously a managerial problem as well. A huge. That's the big part, isn't it? Free kick, basically in the corner quadrants, just almost on the touchline on the right. Foden's the one who whips it in. Close. Doesn't work out. Kobe Mainu. Waves play on. We'll take that. I thought he was going to bring that one back for a foul. I mean, he does eventually say it's a foul. He looked to wave play on and then for some reason stopped it. I'm not really sure how that one's worked out, but sure. And it's on my back list. 100% should, Kez. 100% should. It's so nice. Like, even when it's raining, we were going through certain areas of like Sligo and stuff where there's like mountains and it's just beautiful. Like it's ridiculous. That country is ridiculously good looking. And the cities are really fun as well. Sligo's really nice. Dublin's obviously good. If you go north, Belfast's great. But like when you look at that like views and the countryside stuff, it's just disgracefully good looking country. You know, going over to Carrickashan and stuff like that, where you're just like, oh, it's just good. What's the best food you had there, bro? The portions, Wally. The portions, big long boot from Slovenia, easily collected by Pickford. The portion sizes were ridiculous. They just kept getting bigger. It was comical. We went out, I think, 4 of the 6 nights or something. We went out for dinner while we were there, and they just kept getting bigger and bigger. It was ridiculous. I had this burger though, right? And it was like a homemade thing, and it was nothing like special in terms of like ingredients or whatever. It was just a classic burger, cheese, some other stuff involved in there, like some lettuce, some red onions, blah blah blah. But it was so ridiculously nice. Also, fish and chips we had in Carrickshannon actually was woof. It's beautiful. They're gonna make another sub. I'm just gonna keep the lineup not for now. There's no point. They're making another sub. Janza coming off for Balkovic. Balkovic is how I'm going to pronounce it. Did we do this sub? Because I've somehow missed it. I don't know how, but I'm pretty certain I can see Anthony Gordon as well. Yeah, I mean, that's true of anyone though, right, Iggy? I mean, it depends. I'm quite happy with taking negative comments. I don't really mind too much, but like, I guess for most people that would be the case, but it is just interesting because you don't tend to see that sort of critical criticism, not just random criticism. You've obviously seen that for years and years with the media in England. It's always been a constant it's constantly been a battle, right? Like the Raheem Sterling stuff really put it into the forefront, but like that's always been the case. But like the critical of like the specific actions, that's where it was super interesting to me. Walker collects the ball. Got 2.5 more minutes. 4 minutes have been added on. We've got 2.5 more minutes to go. Can England do a late breakdown? Come on, Slovenia, get these losers out. Kane to Cole Palmer, who's going to hit it straight into the hands of Jan Oblak. The moment opened up very, very quickly, and there's not been many chances like that for us to counter-attack. This is what I mean by Slovenia have defended pretty well. There's not been many opportunities where we've been able to counter-attack with that sort of openness. And it's a waste from Cole Palmer. The shot at the end of it, he had to take it first time before they could get there, or would have had to have done something very special with it. Maybe could have picked a better option, probably should have picked a better option, but he takes the shot first time, and it's so easy for Jan Oblak. It's training ground stuff. Love a large portion. If you like large portions, rural Ireland. Because everywhere we went, it was just like, yeah, plate, and it's a big plate, and it's just full. Like I say, expensive, but still. Or have the lines started to be claimed? Have the lines started to be claimed, Rob? They have. They have, and it wasn't me. Claimed by 19 people claimed that first line at the same time. What either of them, Gio or Gonzo? Let's have a quick look. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. He's done it again. Gonzo once again has claimed it. I said he was going to be the closest. I called it. Gonzo, congratulations on winning Match Bingo once again. Out of the 3 of us, he has done it. We all came close to various degrees, but I did say he looked like he was most likely on to do it. And Gonzo has officially won Match Bingo once again. His second time winning. Mad. As Trent went for a long shot. Everyone send your congratulations to Gonzo. At least someone won in this one. Send him a message now. Winning money, Gonzo. There you go. I just sent one to the group chat saying congrats, Gonzo winning again. Ilicic cut out. It's going to be, the whistle's going to go any second. And there it is. Slovenia buzzing with that one. They are going absolutely crazy. The team are running around. They're celebrating. The fans are going crazy. They're all on top of each other. From an England perspective, another game where it completely flatters to deceive, if we're being honest. Another performance where it just isn't the one. I thought it would happen, but it didn't. I did say 2-1, but it just came on and just kept going and going. It just wasn't the vibe. But yeah, I'm just confirming in the group chat that Gonzo's won. But yeah, big congratulations to Gonzo on winning Match Bingo. Link is in the description below if you're interested. Disgraceful that has happened. Macam, thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Dave, appreciate you. And appreciate everyone else as well. Other Dave, Iggy, Danny, Kez, Forest Gate lad, not Forest fan lad. Kez, Iggy. I said Iggy anyway, but yeah, poor. Definitely poor. Appreciate you all for coming. England through to the next round. We will be live for whichever match that ends up being. I don't know who the next round will be against, but whatever day it is, whoever it will be, we'll be live on this very channel. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the like button because it helps us out a huge amount. And it's quite nice doing these watch logs because there's less people, so we can interact and have full conversations, which isn't something we can always do when it's going a bit crazy for the West Ham one. So it's really nice. So yeah. England match, next one will be live right here. But apart from that, appreciate you all. And congratulations once more to Gonzo. I'll show it one more time because I think it's worth showing. Gonzo, congratulations one more time on winning. Let me refresh it. Winning the match bingo. There you go. Just underneath my face. You can see it there. Ridiculous. He's done it again. He's done it again. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you next time. Cheers, everyone. Bye.